Hello, it's your boy Atticus coming at you from Lao Cai. So, yeah, just got a new haircut. I'm sitting at one of my favorite spots here. It's these steps. I'll show you guys what I see. It's really cool. So it's like this little plaza, little monument thing. And it goes all the way this. Right? So, I'm going to give you a better view. This little war monument. Not sure what it means. Anyways, I thought I would sit out here and just hang out for a little bit. Brought a visitor. Check this out. This is gonna be the most epic shot. Let's get him to sit. Alright, you ready for it? Dun dun dun. Alright, let me get a better shot. Alright, anyways, so we'll put him right here. We'll put him right here. So anyways, yeah. Let me give you, so I'm trying to think what I should talk about in this video here. So we'll talk about some cool things that I've learned about Vietnam or experienced in Vietnam in my 6 months here. Starting with one is the big wooden chairs. So yeah, a lot of the older dudes, the older cats, the boomers, have these huge wooden chairs, these big wooden thrones. They look like the Game of Thrones, chairs or whatever. And I guess it's like a symbol of status, right? So bigger the chair, more comfortable it is. More uncomfortable it is, but bigger it is, more that you're flexing on your friends or whatever. So it's always really cool. I'll drive by sometimes and I'll see these old cats, playing chess or poker or whatever game, smoking cigarettes, and I'll have these really cool throne chairs. I'd like to have one myself, I wouldn't lie. This big wooden throne, even though it's not very comfortable. But yeah, that is definitely something cool. Two, another thing I like about Lao Cai in Vietnam is the markets. So yeah, the markets have been really cool. I actually went to the market for the first time yesterday. It was my first time ever going inside one of the big ones in Lao Cai, and it was like at 1 p.m. so everybody was like sleeping, or they had like their little cots. Everybody takes a nap. So yeah, in Vietnam, from like 11:15 to 1 p.m., sometimes 2. It's like a lot of people will take a rest, right? Take a nap to avoid the afternoon sun, I guess is where it originated from. And yeah, so everybody kind of has their cots, but they chill by their stands, and they have everything cool you could think of. So there was sunglasses, there was cool little Nerf gun toys, there was freaking stuffed animals from every corner of the world, like everything cool that you could think of, right? So I ended up I bought these Ray-Bans. Now I know they're not real. Oops, there goes my sloth. Hold on. But who cares, right? Who cares? I think it's kind of cool. Hold on, let me fix my sloth. Okay, sloth's back on. So yeah, so the market's really cool. Also, they have there's like the food market, and you can buy like whole chickens, roosters, fish. It's just really cool. It's a cool atmosphere, and actually that's where I found that Christmas tree that I showed in my previous video. So yeah, the market, the bargaining, the bartering part of it, I haven't really got down yet. Like, I guess you're supposed to like negotiate your prices. For example, if something is 1 million VND, you're supposed to ask for maybe, I think they said ask for 40%. One of my friends, Tuan, told me to ask for 40% lower than the price they're asking, and then maybe settle at 30 or 20 or something like that. But me, I haven't gotten that kind of part. I haven't really gotten good at that, and I don't speak Vietnamese, so having to use Google Translate also makes it hard as well. So yeah, but the bargaining thing's really cool. Let's see, what else? So yeah, the climate. So right now it is December, and it's probably, I'd say 70 degrees. I mean, it feels like spring day back in the States, but it's absolutely, I like the cold, I like the ice. I prefer that it be endless winter, like let the world freeze over, but I have to admit it's pretty nice. So I'm like sitting out here today, and yeah, it's really cool. As for motorcycles and scooters, so yeah, Vietnam, the majority of people ride those little scooter things that you can see. Like here, check it out. So you see some people drive by. There goes one, there goes two. A couple taxis. Yeah, you should see it. You should see it on like the busy hour. Like it's crazy. People driving, fitting in, swerving between traffic or whatever. But there is every once in a while you'll come across like 2 or 3 really cool badass motorcycles. Like actually crotch rockets like the one I have at home. So I've seen a Ducati out here. I've seen a couple of Hondas. There's actually a CBR that I want to get that is probably like 40 million, which it's hard to justify just because I don't know how long I'll be here in this particular city. A company, if depending on how the company goes, right? So my plan as of now is if Apex, the company I'm working for, survives this whole pandemic thing, gets their money situation right, I'll probably do 2 years. And if they don't, well then I'll probably just look for somewhere else. So we'll see how it goes. What else? Let me think. The students, the kids, so that's really been, hold on, we got a siren going by. Let's check it out. See what it is. Oh yeah, so the ambulance. I'll go on the subject of that. So yeah, the medical care here, or at least the emergency medical, is really different. So there's been a few times, there was actually this one dude, I saved his life. A couple months being here, he was on his phone while on a scooter and he T-boned into a car, went flying over, and this guy was unconscious, and I was just leaving work. And yeah, everybody was just standing around him, so I walked over there and I tried to help him, and I stabilized his neck, and I was looking for wounds, and yeah, he was bleeding from the back of his head, definitely unconscious, maybe a concussion, maybe, who knows, even it could have been a fracture of the skull. And nobody was calling 911, nobody was calling the ambulance, and I guess maybe it's whoever calls it has to pay kind of thing. And yes, I sat there. I held his neck in place. I stabilized him. I was, just checking his eye, his pupil, his dilation of his pupils, trying to triage him as best as I could from, my limited knowledge from being back in the Navy. Eventually, a doctor, this guy came up and said, "No, I'm a doctor. I can help." So he took over, and I don't know if the guy survived, but I like to think that he did. I hope he did. So yeah, it's a little bit different, It takes forever, I guess, for medical responses to get here or whatnot. For the food, so yeah, the kind of food that I enjoy. So I eat the same thing every day, it seems like. I eat this, it's called a banh mi, I think that's how you pronounce it. So in the morning, pho, it's a bowl of pho. It's really good. It's like this noodle soup, it has some beef in it. And then at lunch, there is this bakery that sells this thing called like banh mi. I think that's how you say it. It's like this flatbread, and there's cucumbers and carrots and all these really good vegetables on it. And they press it, like a flatbread. They press it or whatever. And yeah, it's delicious. And then at nighttime, there's this guy who has this little stand, and he cooks this like hoagie sandwich thing. Has like a couple hot dogs on it, some pickles, coleslaw. I don't know, but everything's just like made fresh. It's fresh ingredients. So there's no fast food out here. There's no junk food. There's no, like, all the conveniences that you're used to, like back in like the States. Like, for example, you're not gonna find a Kroger's. You're not gonna find Walmart. And that was really hard for me in the beginning. Especially with somebody who lives with a lot of like social anxiety and stuff. It's hard having to be around a bunch of people, but you learn to adapt, and as I have. So yeah, if you want food, there's a few places. There's one place called Hai Mai Mart, I think it's what it is. It's like the closest thing to like a convenience store. You can buy pots and pans, rugs. It's 2 stories. The bottom floor will be food, frozen food. A lot of it's kind of like, a lot of low quality, I would think. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of like the frozen food processed stuff they have, but you can buy a whole bunch of fresh stuff too. And then upstairs they have kitchen utility, pots and pans, rugs, all that kind of cool stuff. Supposedly there's a movie theater in this city, but I've never found it due to the lockdowns and the COVID stuff. And supposedly there's a mall, but I haven't found that one either. So eventually I'm gonna look for that as well. But what else? What else can I say about my time here? Oh, being a teacher. So yeah, being a teacher, that's been one hell of an experience. I I have so much respect for what teachers have to go through, because I had no idea how hard it could be. Now I absolutely like, love teaching the older classes, just because you can communicate. There's not the language gap or anything. So I can sit there, we can talk about Star Wars or John Connor and the Terminator, or we could, we'll talk about movies. We're talking about the new Iron Man versus Thanos thing or whatever. But the little kids, what we call the eye garden classes, it's a lot more challenging. Now the kids are great. I'll admit, I'm not a big fan of kids, but even these kids kind of melt my heart, right? They're really cool. But they could be monsters sometimes, and it's so hard when I don't speak Vietnamese. Like, the extent of the Vietnamese that I've learned is like "Nuo Sua," which I think is sit down. So I'll be like "Nuo Sua." I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's "Nuo Sua." Or sit down, right? But yeah, so this whole teaching thing, it's been an experience. I'm glad I did it. Learning how to handle the class. Like, I got kind of lucky at the company that I work for, because it's all it's all structured, right? So they have all the things you need. You just follow the structure by the letter for like a newbie like me. And like if you're an experienced teacher, then yeah, you could go off and make your own lesson plans. But me, I just follow what the curriculum that they put forth. And they have like the whole like gate component, which is like this digital thing where you can touch the TV screen and interact with it or whatnot. So, but yeah, this whole teaching thing. I could do it for a while. What am I going to do after that? I still think an anthropologist, be the Indiana Jones kind of thing. Marine biologist would be cool, but this is letting me travel. This is letting me see countries, And Vietnam, man, I've really grown to love this country. It's really something special here, Like I was always set on Korea. I always thought Korea would be like the Grail, but I think Vietnam's going to give it a run for its money. Even though I have yet to experience Korea, I'll get around to it. But yeah, Vietnam's pretty awesome. So let me give you one more quick tour here, show you kind of like what it looks like. So I'll go up to the top of the stairs. Let's see. This is the little shrine thing. Not sure exactly what it means, but I'll give you guys a big view. Alright, so that's about it. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.